Hi. Today, I want to tell you one of the many examples about how things can shift when we choose love over fear. And sometimes we don't know it's fear, it's just about choosing love. You'll understand more in the story. So, something happened with a friend, and I didn't know what, but I felt something was different. And the next time we saw each other, which was a while after I started feeling there was a something between us, we saw each other as usual. And after a while, she started explaining to me that there was an issue between us and explaining her perception, her lived experience of what happened. Now, I've practiced, and I think it's a skill of mine to practice to be fully present and to practice active listening. Really, just listening to her, receiving her words, her everything about what she is sending my way. And I was fully present for that moment, and I received all of what she was transmitting to me. And we can call it a story or whatever her version of what she had to share is. So I was fully present for that, and I wasn't speaking. I was just understanding really her part of the story. And then what happened was I started speaking after she was done. And I started with, I receive what you said. And I repeated some of the things. Like, really, I understood what she went through and what she was um, portraying, what she was sharing with me. And then, like this, I started going into justification, into it was justification. Okay. And it became a little intense, and I felt it inside of me, in my body. And I felt like my tone was going higher. And then I realized that. I didn't know it was justification at that moment, but I realized something had shifted inside of me. So I stopped talking. I said, please hold on a minute. And I checked in with myself. I took a moment to put my hand on my heart, take a few breaths, connect with my heart again. And then what I started doing is speaking in the present, reliving and realizing what was my story of that day of what happened without comparing, judging, justifying. I was just reliving and realizing what happened. And as I was doing that, I realized that that day I had no space and no energy to receive her when she called me. But I did answer the phone, and that's when something went wrong. So now, when we're talking about it, and I'm realizing, oh, so I shared that with her. I did not have enough space and energy. I should not have picked up the phone that night because I wasn't available to receive you. And we had had text messages, so I knew there was something up, and I still picked up the phone when I was already. And the point is that I was in my heart, and me just sharing my version of the story made me realize what was going on energetically. And that day when we're exploring all of this, and we both genuinely want to communicate about this situation. And we both have an intention to move forward together, but it might not be the outcome. The important thing is to be in our heart and to be open and to be curious and to find a way to communicate about the situation so that we can understand what truly happened. What is her truth? What is my truth? So that day I chose love instead of fear. It was fear of whatever it can be. It could be fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of losing her as a friend, fear of being um, shamed. So many things. It's fear, and we were able to talk through it and move on that day. However, when we were leaving each other that day, we we both said that we needed still more time to integrate all that. Okay. And the integration part is not about reliving the past, that situation. It's about letting things go, accepting what happened, not replaying it in my head. I should have said this, I should have done this. Just allowing what is, leaning into that discomfort that I felt at that moment where I had to choose love over fear. Um, Leaning into the discomfort of, okay, we're still not done. The situation is still a little not strong foundation, right? Um, Leaning into the discomfort of, oh, I still have a lot of work to do. And introspection, opening up to how can I become an even better human? How can I choose to go into my power and actually choose not to pick up the phone when I don't have the energy and the space to reply to someone? Or how do I have the courage to say no to something that is not right for me right now? Yeah. And every once in a while, I'd send her a message telling her I'm thinking about her. And eventually she said, "Do you want to go for coffee?" And we went, and everything was back to normal. We had talked about it, allowed ourselves to integrate, and found peace within ourselves and this relationship. And I love her dearly. And I love these experiences that help me grow, that help me realize how to be a better, more kind, more loving, more true and authentic human being. Thank you.